Did you know your cat doesn't see a carrier as just an object, but as a situation? To us, it looks like plastic walls, a zipper, maybe a handle. To them, it's something entirely different. A trigger where control, escape routes, smells, and old memories collide in a single instant. For many cats, the carrier is not a box, it's a story. And unfortunately, most of the time, it's a horror story. But here's the twist. What if I told you that with the right approach, this so-called panic box can become a safe den? Today, I'm going to translate exactly what runs through your cat's mind the moment they spot the carrier, step by step, and I'll show you 12 practical ways to rewrite that story. Each fix is simple, but together they change everything. Quiet is connection, and in the next 10 minutes, we'll speak their language. Cats don't just live in your house, they map it. Every step they take draws invisible lines of scent, routine, and exits. When a carrier appears in that map, your cat doesn't think, "Oh, we're going to the vet." They think, "A piece of my territory just changed, and I need to know if I'm safe." That's why what looks to us like drama is, in truth, a risk assessment. Your cat calculates, can I escape? Who controls this? What happened the last time? This isn't disobedience, it's survival logic. And here's the powerful part. When you adjust what you do before, during and after the carrier shows up, you're not just making transport easier. You're rewriting the meaning of the box in your cat's mind. Because real bonding doesn't happen when we force them inside. It happens when they choose us, and when, surprisingly, they choose the box too. The very first thought that triggers your cat's alarm when they see the carrier is, smells say last time was scary. To us, it's just a box. But to a cat, smell writes the story before sight does. The plastic still carries the memory of the last vet trip. The blanket inside might whisper of stress. Even the trace of your nervous sweat mixes into the air. Their nose pulls up a memory bank in seconds, and the verdict is simple: danger. For your cat, scent equals memory, and if the carrier smells like fear, then the carrier itself is fear. What you can do? Flip the script with scent. Keep the carrier open and visible every day, not just on vet day. Line it with a blanket that smells like your cat. Not freshly washed, not sterile, but infused with the comfort of their territory. Add something that smells like you, worn but safe. By swapping clinic smell for home smell, you're not just masking a trigger, you're rewriting the memory. The second thought your cat has is, no exit, no safety. Imagine walking into a room with only one narrow doorway, knowing that once you step inside, someone could shut it behind you. That's exactly how your cat sees a standard front entry carrier. The opening feels like a trap. One step in and the escape routes vanish. To a prey-driven mind, that's panic. What it means: the carrier isn't a safe space, it's a dead end. Cats live by one golden rule: never get cornered. If there's no way out, there's no trust. What you can do? Change the architecture of safety. Choose a carrier with both a front and a top opening, so there are always two exits. Practice tiny in and out moments with treats. Let your cat step in for 2 seconds, then step out, always rewarded. Never push or shove, let autonomy lead. When your cat learns that the carrier doesn't mean getting stuck, but staying in control, everything shifts, because autonomy is their love language. The third thought your cat has is, when you grab me, I lose control. Think about how it feels when someone suddenly pulls you from behind without warning. Your body stiffens, your heart jumps, and for a second, you're no longer in charge of yourself. That's exactly what happens when you scoop your cat in a rush or wrap them in a towel without notice. What it means? Hands equal restraint, not trust. For your cat, being lifted and shoved into a box isn't transportation. It's a loss of autonomy. And when control disappears, fear takes its place. What you can do? Teach choice through a target. Place a small mat or towel inside the carrier, one your cat already loves. Reward them every time their paws touch it. At first, let them step in for just 2 or 3 seconds, then step out and get a treat. Repeat until it becomes a game of, I go in because I want to. With micro repetitions, your cat learns that the carrier isn't where freedom ends. It's where confidence begins. Because for cats, control isn't a luxury, it's safety. The fourth thought racing through your cat's mind is, dark plus motion equals can't predict. Imagine being locked in a box with no windows, then lifted into the air while the ground shakes beneath you. That's how a cat experiences the darkness of a carrier combined with sudden movement. Every step you take, every door you close, every jingle of keys amplifies the sense of uncertainty. What it means: unpredictability is danger. Cats survive by anticipating what comes next. When the carrier turns dark and starts swaying, their map of the world disappears. What you can do: stabilize both sight and sound. Carry the box close to your body with 2 hands instead of letting it dangle and swing. Keep your voice low and calm as you move. Cover part of the carrier with a light cloth, but leave the front open so your cat still sees a possible exit. Some cats calm with partial coverage, others prefer more light. Test gently and discover what reassures your individual cat. The secret isn't silence, it's predictability. The 5th thought your cat has is, these signs mean a bad day is coming. Cats are masters of pattern. They notice the tiny sequence you think goes unseen. You pull the carrier from the closet, your tone of voice shifts, you grab your keys, and suddenly the day feels different. To them, it's not random. It's a warning system. Carrier plus keys equals clinic. What it means: once those cues link together, the carrier becomes a red flag, not a neutral object. Even before you touch them, their stress has already spiked. What you can do? Break the pattern. Don't let the carrier appear only when there's a vet visit. Bring it out daily, place a snack inside, then put it away without going anywhere. Take short car rides that end not at the clinic, but back at home with a treat. The goal is to rewrite the sequence so that the carrier no longer predicts stress. It predicts surprise rewards. For your cat, the story changes the moment the pattern changes. The 6th thought that unsettles your cat is, my scent map just got wiped out. For a cat, home is a layered map of familiar smells. Every cushion, every corner, every blanket tells them, this is mine, this is safe. But when you place a freshly washed towel in the carrier, or when the box itself smells like it's been stored in the garage, that map disappears. Suddenly the space feels like foreign territory, not home. What it means: if their scent is gone, their sense of ownership vanishes too. And when territory feels stolen, trust collapses. What you can do: keep their map intact. Don't wash the blanket right before travel. Leave it carrying their scent. Rub a small cloth gently on your cat's cheeks or head days before, then place it inside the carrier so it smells familiar. Let them mark the box on their own in the days leading up to the trip. When the carrier carries their identity, it stops feeling like an invader and starts feeling like an extension of their space. Because to a cat, territory is memory, and memory is comfort. The 7th thought your cat has is, your hands might hold me down, not comfort me. Picture this: you reach in quickly, scoop them up, and head straight for the box. To us, it's efficient. To them, it feels like capture. Hands, which normally mean grooming or affection, suddenly switch roles into restraint. That shift breaks trust in a second. What it means: touch no longer equals comfort, it equals loss of control. And when a cat feels cornered by human hands, every instinct tells them to fight or flee. What you can do: turn touch into a ritual of reassurance. Before placing them inside, let your cat sniff your hand, blink slowly, or rub against your fingers. Scratch their cheek where their scent glands are active. It signals familiarity. Then, with calm movements, guide them toward the carrier. The difference is that you've asked permission instead of forcing submission, because in feline language, a slow blink is a kiss, and consent is safety. The 8th thought that unsettles your cat is, hard floor, slippery body. Imagine standing barefoot on an icy floor while someone nudges you forward. That shaky footing makes you tense before anything else happens. For your cat, the bottom of the carrier feels the same: smooth plastic with no grip. Each step inside feels unstable, and instability means danger. What it means: the carrier isn't just a box, it's a surface they can't trust. A slippery base tells them, I could fall, I could slide, I could get hurt. That's enough for panic to take over. What you can do: give their paws traction. Line the bottom with a folded towel or a small anti-slip mat so they feel grounded. Keep it tight so it doesn't slide under them. When carrying, hold the box flat against your body, not dangling by the handle. That calm sandwich posture makes the ride steady and predictable. When the ground feels solid, the mind feels safe. The 9th thought that shakes your cat's trust is, weight plus wobble means I'll tip. Think of walking on a swaying bridge. Even if it holds, every wobble screams risk. That's how a carrier feels when it bumps against your leg, swings from a long strap, or shifts with every step. To a cat, that instability isn't transportation, It's a moving trap. What it means? Every tilt suggests falling, every bump feels like losing balance. And for an animal wired to stay grounded, that lack of stability is terrifying. What you can do? Shorten the ride, literally. Keep the carrier close to your body with both hands or a tight strap. Hold it steady against your chest so it doesn't swing. In the car, secure it with the seatbelt and keep the opening facing forward, so your cat always sees a possible exit. A stable ride isn't a luxury, it's the difference between panic and peace, because when the world stops wobbling, trust begins to grow. The 10th thought that deepens their fear is this a prison or a den? To you, the carrier is just a tool, but to your cat, its meaning depends entirely on when it appears. If the box only shows up before stressful events, the vet, the groomer, or travel, it stops being neutral. It becomes a signal of confinement, a prison they're forced into against their will. What it means? The carrier isn't just an object. It's a memory bank of bad experiences. And once it's marked as the bad box, your cat will fight it every single time. What you can do? Flip the identity. Turn the carrier into a den, not a cage. Keep it open in your living space daily. Toss a few treats inside, add a toy, or sprinkle catnip or silver vine. Let them nap inside on their own terms. Just 5 minutes a day of happy box time rewrites its meaning from trap to safe retreat, because the real question isn't what the carrier is, but what it represents. The 11th thought that builds distance is, my voice doesn't reach you. When your cat meows in the carrier, they're not being dramatic. They're trying to communicate. But if every cry is met with silence, the message they receive is, my voice doesn't matter. That silence deepens the sense of isolation, making the carrier feel even colder. What it means: if their attempts at connection are ignored, trust fractures. They don't just fear the carrier, they fear that you're not listening. What you can do: respond gently, even if you can't fix the moment. A soft word like, I hear you, or I'm with you, reassures them. Pair calm moments with tiny rewards, not for the loud cries, but for the quiet seconds in between. That teaches them their calm voice works, and more importantly, that their voice matters. Because when communication is honored, fear loses its grip. The 12th thought that locks in fear is, after we arrive, it only gets worse. For many cats, the carrier isn't just linked to the trip, it's linked to the destination. The moment the door opens at the clinic, strange smells, cold tables, and unfamiliar hands rush in. To them, the box wasn't just a ride, it was a trap leading to an even scarier place. What it means: the end of the journey confirms the fear. If every carrier experience ends in restraint or stress, their brain decides, avoid the box at all costs. What you can do? Reshape the arrival. Ask your vet about fear-free or cat-friendly handling. Instead of pulling your cat out, remove the top half of the carrier so they can stay on their familiar blanket. Let them explore the exam room on their own pace if possible. Keep their scent with them, and keep the box open as a safe zone. When the carrier leads to safety instead of trauma, your cat's entire association begins to shift, because the story doesn't end when the ride does, it ends where comfort begins. Some cat parents swear by covering the carrier completely. Others say it only makes things worse. So, which is it? The truth is, it depends on your cat. For some, a partial cover works like blackout curtains, lowering stimulation and helping them relax. For others, blocking all sight removes their sense of an exit, which makes stress rise instead of fall. The key is to test at home, not on vet day. Try covering half the carrier and see if your cat settles or stiffens. Try leaving the front uncovered so they can still see their escape route. Observe closely, because the right choice is the one that fits your cat's unique personality. Tell me in the comments, does your cat calm down with a cover, or does it make them more nervous? So let's bring it all together with 3 practical moves you can start today. First, do this now. Leave the carrier open in a safe spot with a blanket that smells like your cat, and toss 3 snacks inside. Make it part of their world, not an invader. Second, avoid this mistake. Don't only pull out the carrier on vet day. Break the pattern by using it for tiny, happy moments, even a quick ride around the block that ends back home with a treat. Third, create a ritual. Practice short in and out sessions. Let your cat step in for 2 seconds, reward, then out again. Build it slowly. Over time, the carrier becomes a choice, not a cage. These 3 steps, repeated daily, are the foundation of rewriting the carrier story. What's the biggest sign your cat locks up when they see the carrier? Is it the tail lashing, the sudden silence, the tense body, or the non-stop meowing? Share your story in the comments. I might even read your case in the next video. And if today you discovered how to turn the panic box into a safe den, wait until you see what's coming next. Cats give us clear signals when their stress reaches its peak, but most owners miss them. In the next video, I'll show you how to read those hidden signs before fear explodes. I'll see you there.